What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another quick save. I'm producer Jay, and the Game Awards have come and gone. We've experienced it. We actually live streamed it not the other day. So, you guys know how everything went down if you watched it. But we didn't really get a chance to talk about like the things that we liked, the things that we didn't like. So I wanted to take the time to go through it one by one about some things that I very much enjoyed about the show, but there was also things that I didn't enjoy about the show, and it was only after I watched it, I slept on it, that I started to realize like, yeah, that there was something off about it. But anyway, before we get into that, before we get started with the video, like and subscribe, please. That would help us out a lot. I know it's kind of like a cliche on YouTube at this point, but it really does help us out, and it makes us reach a new audience, and that's what we're trying to do. Trying to reach a new audience and grow the channel. Anyway, so I want to start off with the good that I liked. So obviously we had a lot of announcements, as you can see from the what I'm playing right now. It's Blade. That threw me for a loop. It was very out of nowhere. I did not expect anything from Mike. Well, I knew there was something that was going to be from Microsoft, but I didn't expect it was going to be this. And I know that there was a previous leak, or the leak of the Bethesda games lineup that hinted that there might be something that's a licensed IP tied to Bethesda, and I think Arcane Lion was tied to it. So it's really cool that it ended up being Blade, and I can't wait for this game. I know it's probably gonna be like 5 years out, but I'm still excited. And there seems to be a lot of controversy surrounding it because they didn't announce if it was gonna be an Xbox exclusive. You would think, being Arcane Lion and Bethesda, that it's gonna be exclusive, but I think there might be more reason to that, and maybe next week on the podcast we'll discuss it more. But yeah, so Blade was great. Another highlight was OD, Kojima's next game, which is I can't even begin to like fathom what that ends up being, because it seems too good to be true, honestly. Because if you look at the trailer, it really wasn't much, but all that was done in Unreal Engine. It looks real. It looks like it could be real. Like that, when I found that out, it was crazy. Like that, my mind can't comprehend that. So the fact that that game is being developed by Kojima in collaboration with Jordan Peele, which was another surprise that nobody knew. I mean, I kind of suspected it because he posted a picture with him like a few months ago. People thought that, oh, it's just Kojima, he's a cinephile, he likes taking pictures with directors and actors and stuff like that. But we're getting a game developed by Hideo Kojima and Jordan Peele, along with others, because apparently there's more people that's going to be involved. I think another one will probably be Guillermo del Toro, because they were supposed to work on a game, which was PT, that ended up getting canceled, and they still work together with Death Stranding, although Del Toro didn't have anything to do with that. He was just a character in the game. But I think that's the next one. Anyway, next up, we got God of War Ragnarok Valhalla. Now, when they first showed this, I lost my mind, because even though I said previously on a older episode that I like Ragnarok, and I do think it's a great game, it was very safe for me. That doesn't mean it's bad. I really enjoyed the game. I platinumed it, but I think it was very safe. Like, it did everything you thought it was gonna do, and like I said, it's not a bad thing. I just kind of expected more from it, and oddly enough, I kind of expected more from this too, because there was a lot of rumors about DLC and stuff like that. So people were excited, and when you watch the announcement, people were cheering. Like, it was a good like roar of the crowd. But it ended up being that this is a roguelike DLC, which again, that's not a bad thing. I feel like that actually is a good addition to the game, especially when you do the Helheim trials, or whatever they're called. So is it Helheim? I don't remember. But Yeah, if you do those, and it's kind of like it adds to the challenge. It's also free, so you can't really complain about it. But that was another good thing. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. That is, oh my god, looks so great. I'm so hyped for that game. I grew up with Tenkaichi, Budokai Tenkaichi, and it's interesting that they actually are going with the Japanese name for the game, which was Sparking Zero, because it used to be called Dragon Ball Sparking, and then they named it like Sparking Neo and Sparking Alpha. I don't know, but it used to be called Sparking. But in the West, it was Budokai, and then they changed it to Budokai Tenkaichi. So now they're going back and renaming it to the original Japanese name, but it looks so good, and apparently the roster is gonna be incredible. Probably the biggest roster in Dragon Ball game history. It's also what was I gonna say? Oh, it's been in development for 5 years, so that's interesting too. So that we could probably be getting that next year. Did they announce the date? I don't remember if they announced the date. Maybe it was 2025. I can't remember, but we're getting that soon. I'm very excited. Also, some highlights for the game announcements in general. There was the Moon Studio game, which is No Rest for the Wicked. That looked incredible, like visually. I mean, this is the same makers of Ori and the Blind Forest, and the sequel, so you know it's gonna look great. I'm very excited for that game. It looks amazing, and I like the setting too. It's very different from what you would expect, but that's what I like developers to do, to branch out, do different things. We also got the Sega remakes, which I can't name off the top of my head. I know Jet Set Radio was one. I think Battle Axe was the next one. We got Crazy Taxi, Streets of Rage. That one was actually pretty cool. Yeah, and I think there was like one more, but it's the fact that Sega is basically remastering these games for a new, or is it remaster or remake? I can't remember, but they're going back to their edgy side and remastering these games for a new generation, for them to grow up with it. I like that approach, and hopefully this means that Sega is coming back to their roots and they're gonna make good shit. So can't wait for those games, and can't leave out Epic Flute Guy. He made his return from last year, from going crazy. He upgraded. He had a whole freaking, like, I don't even know what to call it. It was like a mega flute. It was insane, but the fact that they brought him back was really cool. But I say all that though, you would think I'm talking about like an E3 type show, and or like Summer Games Fest or anything like that. No, this is supposed to be an award show. And the fact that my highlights were all video game announcements and Epic Flute Guy, kind of shows the problem that I have with the Game Awards. It was way too focused on the show aspect. As a show, it was great. I enjoyed it, but as an award show, it kind of sucked. Like, they took basically the Summer Game Fest model, and then they just threw in some awards here and there. I didn't like the idea that it was less about the awards, because they promoted this as, oh, it's the Oscars for gaming. Like, it's just show respect for the developers. Not one mention of the developers that have lost their jobs, like the thousands of developers that lost their jobs this year in the massive layoffs that hit the entire industry. Every developer was, every developer was hit, or most of. It was a bad year for developers, and I kind of didn't like that they shied away from that. They also, they've had a lot of focus on the celebrity aspect, and I get it. Jeff Keighley wants to have that aspect to it. Like, in Summer Games Fest, we have freaking Nicolas Cage and all that stuff. So I get it. You want to make the Game Awards feel more legitimate, so you think adding celebrities is the way to do it. However, they added nothing to this show. Like, they were trying to be funny. They were trying to, like, basically just be like, hey, I'm here, guys, look at me. Like, it felt like they were trying too hard, and I didn't like that. The Fallout celebrities, I felt like they tried, but even then you could tell, like, they probably didn't even know what Fallout was. They were just doing the TV show. So that I didn't like at all. Also, the main big thing that was very, very apparent, they didn't give enough time for these acceptance speeches. And also, one thing before I get into that, they a lot of the awards were just given off in like speed run or like a Spitfire type fashion, where they were just listing them off. Here's this award and this one. Here's this award and this one. It was like, hello, like, you should give these developers the chance to accept that award. Like, especially best independent game, it was freaking yada yada in that Spitfire roll call of an award giveaway. And it's like, it's embarrassing because like these developers, I mean, you tout this show as being a big celebration for these games and developers, and you're just gonna like list them off quickly before the next game announcement. I found that very, very tacky. And a lot of developers did too. Like, they were sounding off on Twitter that they just did not like that. And yeah, so but back to what I was saying before, the acceptance speech time. Literally, they were given like maybe 30 seconds to basically run the gamut of all the people they wanted to thank. I mean, that's not enough time. Freaking last year, oh shit, what's his name? The voice actor for Kratos. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. But he went for like 8 minutes during his acceptance speech, and it became a meme. So it's like, okay, I get you don't want to go that long, but 30 seconds before they started putting the playoff music, like, come on, that's ridiculous. And the fact that there were a lot of developers who were like giving emotional speeches. There was the one who won the best performance for Gears of War, Baldur's Gate. He was crying, like he was on the verge of tears because they had lost a developer recently, like a month ago or something like that. And the fact that he wasn't even able to like give actual like a speech to celebrate that person, it's very insulting. And that's one thing I really hope that changes for next year, because if Jeff Keighley wants to do E3, winter E3 or whatever, he could do that. You don't need to have an award show. That's fine. There's plenty of other award shows for games. They got the Golden Joysticks. We got the DICE Awards. Like, there's plenty of offerings to give awards to games. You don't got to be that. I know he wants to, but you don't got to be that. And even in the Oscars, you don't see trailers for movies in the Oscars. You see awards. So, I don't know. I just didn't like that. And I hope next year they fix that. And stop worrying about the show aspect. I know you want to put on a good show. You can have game announcements. That's fine. But don't make the whole show about game announcements. If you want to do that, do that. Do Winter Games Fest. Don't do Game Awards disguised as a trailer montage. But anyway, that's gonna do it for me, guys. I just wanted to get that off my chest because I wasn't able to do it on the live stream because it was very late and I had to go and I was starving. But yeah, like this video, comments, because I do reply. I reply under my actual YouTube because I have YouTube Premium, so that's what I mainly use. I will reply under my personal YouTube. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week for the podcast, or even before if I do another quick save. Peace.